Hey everyone, this is Caleb.
And this is DJ.
And this is, what's the name of this thing again?
I think we settled on Crimes Anew. We did send it off to them to say Crimes Anew.
Oh, is that, so that's stuck now, is it?
I mean, we could probably change it if we really wanted to.
I'm not sure, I don't know if they'll notice.
Working title.
Yeah, okay. I figured before we go anywhere on this, we should probably actually introduce ourselves to you and to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the first time I've met DJ in person.
Yeah, we kind of talked. The way it happened is I signed up to do a podcast and I had a really bad idea. They didn't want me to do it. Apparently, teaching people how to make stuff is not very helpful if you can't show it to them or actually know what you're doing.
I think I would have enjoyed that. I think there's some room for an audio DIY podcast.
Well, maybe you should be running this.
Yeah. I mean, my problem was that I didn't have any idea, so maybe if you'd told me that one, we could just run with that. But
well, meeting new people, it's hard to really put your good ideas straight to them. Yeah. So you gotta kind of go with something a bit more generic, like a crimes podcast. Yeah, standard true crime.
Yeah. When I approached Burn FM, they were like, "We'll put you with this one guy, and you can just do something vague, something everyone likes." And we were like, "True crime, that sounds fun." Not fun. That feels like the wrong word for it. It's serious.
Yeah, serious. It sounds like something people want to listen to rather than,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be able to have a laugh along the way, and we can do that without...
I don't want to laugh. This is, quite serious.
Yeah, okay, you might be right. Let's not disrespect any of our... I don't know, victims. We've not really...
I mean, they're not our victims. We didn't do anything to them.
I feel like we don't have any victims in this first thing that we're going to talk about. I guess there is a victim in it.
The listeners.
Yeah, but I mean, in the actual crime, there might be one victim, but other than that, it just kind of seems like a mess.
Oh, in our first one?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Wait, am I skipping ahead?
You're skipping ahead. I mean,
all right, sorry.
You got to introduce ourselves, really. They don't know anything about the people of Caleb and DJ.
Yeah.
I, for one, am a university dropout. I dropped out this year, and I work in the aquarium. So, fish knowledge, I'm not your guy. I just kind of clean.
Okay. I feel like I'm learning so much about you already that I just didn't know.
I mean, we only messaged 5 times, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have known anything.
Yeah, I'm not as interesting. I just popped up for my second year, and I signed up for a podcast without actually having an idea, and they said, sure, just go with this random guy because we don't really know what we're doing with him either.
Yeah, so if you're hearing this, listeners, if this goes wrong, it's his fault, not mine.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be the start of a good co-hosting relationship.
Oh, definitely. I'm feeling the
natural
energy.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, is that enough of introductions?
Let me just take some water, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do kind of wish that I had more technical knowledge so that I could cut the water drinking sounds out, but
no, that's not something you do in a podcast.
Yeah.
You don't edit.
Yeah, it's like listening into a conversation on the bus. You know how everyone does that.
Well, one that you're not in.
Yeah, and that's the only reason you can be invested because it's no stakes for you.
Yeah, no stakes.
Yeah, which is really the pinnacle of the true crime genre, is getting overly invested in other people's business.
Yeah, I also wish we had more tech knowledge so we didn't waste about 20 minutes trying to set this up.
Well, at least everything's sorted and we can get a start now.
Yeah, and speaking of start, shall we talk about the first big crime?
Yeah, so you'll all know about this one already. We wanted to try and find something more niche than this to start out with, just to give people some learning, basically.
You don't want to stare a gift horse in the mouth when it's...
it was too easy to not talk about it.
Yeah, we are, of course, talking about those guys who took the monkey from the zoo.
Yeah, I don't really know why everyone is still talking about this.
Because it's funny. And
is it funny?
I mean, there's no real... As you were saying earlier, there's no real victim.
I feel like there is... I was saying there's one victim, and I feel like that is the ape.
The ape? I mean, I heard it was a monkey, like a what they called macaques,
No, I think they were, from the eyewitness descriptions, it was more like a chimpanzee kind of thing, which would make it an ape.
Oh yeah, you're right. That wasn't a tail. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know how long I can talk about this because I kind of got sick of hearing about it after a moment. Because
speak for yourself. I enjoy every new tidbit that comes in. On it.
Did you not think it was weird that on the other day that both of the perpetrators of this, they were on that random morning show, and they were just treating it as like a comedy stint. They were just taking selfies with them, even though they're still supposed to be on trial, so that should be illegal.
I mean, I didn't know that they were actually caught or on trial. I thought they were still searching for them. That was like a undercover detective.
They set the trial date, and then they didn't show up, so they just kind of set another one. And so after they were on that show, everyone was like, "Oh, well, we know where they are," and they just disappeared.
I heard that. I saw a rumor online that they had like, done some recordings with the chimp. Did you say?
Yeah, maybe some like dark web type of stuff. That's why I don't think this is funny, because it's like we don't know what's in those recordings. We don't know if there's maybe some.
I mean, I saw them on the show you were talking about. They were really dull, like just really bland, unfunny.
But what makes me think that it couldn't have been anything, lighthearted in those recordings. There had to be something that some people were getting some sick kick out of, because there was just too much. It was just such a hostile aura between the two as well.
They got into so many arguments. I'm glad I mean, I have only met you, but I don't think we're going to be like that.
Yeah, like even the hosts of the morning show were trying to like split them up, and they ended up actually making the hosts of the show argue themselves because they were just so toxic. And it really concerns me that we're trying to ameliorate these clearly criminals, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Hence, true crime.
Yeah, should we actually talk about what they actually did? Because I feel like we mentioned it, but we're glossing over it.
They went into a zoo and stole a monkey, dressed it up a bunch, gave it like a bunch of food it shouldn't eat. They got it to cook for them.
I've not heard about this one.
They went into their apartment and found like a frying pan with just a bunch of eggs. And like some of these are eggs you can find in the shop, but because of the egg shortages at the moment, they've also just clearly taken bird eggs. That that's illegal to do. They can't do that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why we're talking about all this, is because of all the illegal things that happened.
Yeah, I think they also threw that monkey into chimp into a pool with like actual people in it.
But a lot of this stuff is kind of hearsay because no one's found. Well, some people claim to have found some files, but they've not released them to the outside world, and so it could just be people making stuff up. Because as I'm aware, there's no real listeners.
Yeah, I heard the police did actually confiscate it, but zero listeners, as evidenced by just the lack of engagement on the Instagram.
That was more of a fan account though. I don't think that wasn't anything they'd set up, because they're not going to incriminate themselves like that.
No,
but for some reason, some people were really into it, and the page didn't take off until the crime was noticed. So as soon as the crime was noticed, the page got like 50,000 followers, and then Instagram just had to wipe it from the face of the earth because it was evidence of crime on their platform.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the problem with this case. There's so many holes in it. There's so many
misinformation, I'd say.
Yeah. I almost want to say cover-ups, but I don't think they were even trying to cover anything up. I think, if anything, they were trying to get out there as much as they could. But
yeah, people do like to return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah. Except these guys have just kind of disappeared.
Maybe they'll come back. Who knows?
Yeah, we can hope, but yeah.
Hope? Why do you hope? They're criminals.
Hope that they get returned to the scene of the crime and get caught.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, sorry guys. Might be a bit of an abrupt cut here, but we were just informed by one of the managers here that we couldn't actually talk about this case the way that we're talking about it, at least, because, as they say, technically the trial is ongoing.
Yeah.
So we can't be convinced
against some like media law or something. Like,
we can't really be convinced.
The jury if you do that.
Yeah, but I think that was what our problem was with the Instagram and everything. Was that they were swaying the jury, and them being on the morning show was swaying the jury.
Yeah, that's why they took it down.
Swaying them to thinking that they're innocent, which, they might be. We can't say that they're not.
Can't say that they're not. Can't say that they are either,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely couldn't say
we're getting too close to talking about it again. We should probably move on.
Okay. Just make sure that we're not going to, accidentally get some defamation lawsuit from these guys. We should move on to...
If we do, we'll update you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll move on to what I brought for today then, other than this, because we have prepared our own segments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'll be fine on this one. Shouldn't be any defamation involved because it was an old case. It's from around the 90s.
Oh, yeah, that is quite old.
Yeah.
Well, I know it, or is it?
No, it's very obscure. It's not as well known as this case.
Oh.
But let me just, I
notes.
came prepared because I know that I have memory like a sieve.
I'm prepared. Yeah, that's what I did too.
I'm looking forward to what you've prepared, but
me
I'll
too.
start on my story. So, let me introduce you to a man who's called Clint Sanders, and he was quite a boring man by all accounts. He was often regarded as being like not too good, but like just good enough at his job, where people were kind of hoping for something to go wrong to just spice it up a bit.
Yeah, not me. I'm really good at cleaning the aquarium.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if people were preying on your downfall at the aquarium kind
no
of
one
deal.
would.
Yeah, exactly.
Treat the people that clean up nicely, and they'll treat you nicely.
Yeah. Well, this guy worked in an office, and offices, can be quite boring. And he was a very boring man. He wasn't adding anything to the workplace atmosphere. So I think people started like looking into the nothingness of him and started seeing things that like they're trying to make up reasons that he might be a bit dodgy. Like there was this rumor that was reported from one of his neighbors, I think, a woman called Eileen Foster, and she was trying to spread the rumor that he'd been having an affair on his wife. But this got shot down pretty quickly because the man didn't have a wife.
Did he have a husband? Or was
this was 1990s. They hadn't made it that far.
There
were civil partnerships. They hadn't made it too.
I see. I thought you were just saying that there weren't gay people in the
1990s. No. They started spawning in
in
2010. But yeah. So Eileen was known to be talking a lot of... I can't swear on this show, but known to be talking a lot of rubbish. Yeah, she was chatting. But she had a bit of a track record. Like, she even fought these swans, the town swans. For some reason, I always see them referred to as the town swans in all the reports. Even every town has swans, right?
Oh, swans! I thought you were saying swans.
No, swans. But yeah, I feel like swans aren't unique enough to call them town swans, but they did call them that. But she believed they were demons, like real demons. So
I mean, nothing should have that long a neck. I kind of agree.
Yeah, I think that's closer to the truth than the whole affair thing. When the man was not married to anyone, wife, husband, spouse.
Cat.
But yeah, this kind of is setting the scene behind, even though this was Eileen being a strange case, it was also the case of Clint and people trying to see things in him that were interesting. And he was the kind of guy where he hadn't done anything wrong, but around Halloween, the kids would like warn each other to skip his house. So like, don't go to Clint Sanders' house, because you don't know what's going to happen. He's going to give you some creepy stuff.
Yeah.
I can't swear, I'll believe that. But that's fine, we can bleep these things now with the power of technology that I need to learn.
Now?
Not now, when I'm editing.
Oh, I see.
Which for some reason is my job.
Oh, well, I don't have time. I'm in the aquarium. You're a second year university student.
Yeah, I'm only still in university.
Yeah. You do like nothing. I did nothing. That's why I dropped out.
That's true. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, at his workplace, he didn't talk much about his personal life. He turned up, did his job, left. Just the boring office guy. You all know a boring office guy if you work in an office.
No, I don't. I work in an aquarium. We've been over this.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said if you work in an office.
But I don't.
Right. Well, if you had worked in an office, you would know that there's always this one boring guy. And occasionally, to kind of compliment this boring guy, you get that coworker who really wants to try and find something about them to like build up a rapport, to just see that there must be something more.
Yeah.
So there's this one, he had a friend in the office who became his friend and tried to get him to open up. And even though he'd never opened up before, he did start talking about his hobby. And his hobby was something that some people would consider to be strange, but as soon as he opened up about it once, it was like he was talking about it every day. Let me find...
Was the hobby bland, or is it... Because he's quite bland.
I don't think it was like... It's like one of those things that's bland, but...
Just so you know, he was a taxidermist, yeah?
Oh, how did you know?
It's on the piece of paper you got.
Right. Yeah, this part of the paper that I wrote, don't let DJ see on the top of.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was going to try and ramp up to a bit more than that, but he was a taxidermist, which I think in the 1990s was somehow both more in fashion and more creepy. I think because it was more around, it was creepier. But
my dad was a taxidermist.
Yeah. Well, okay, so anyway, Clint Sanders, at least.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Clint Sanders.
Yeah.
I thought you said Flint Sanders. I know Clint Sanders. As I said, he a friend of my dad's, because taxidermists, they keep together. They're in the same society.
Yeah, so your dad might have been the guy he was working with, actually, the guy who was trying to get him to open up then.
Yeah, possibly. You
realize how insane that is, that I just brought this on?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of wild.
But he never told you about any of the other stuff that happened.
I mean, there was a lot of missed rumours. I know that.
Right.
Clint's just a stand-up guy.
Okay.
I see him like once a month.
Well, we'll see how... I don't know where you're seeing him, but...
He's not in jail.
No, he's not. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
He's
not in a home. He's still fresh enough to walk about,
Yeah. Well, I think since you know Clint, you might understand that around the time, in the 1990s, there was, like I was saying earlier, there was this bit of a buzz about him now because of
I didn't know him back in 1990.
Well,
I wasn't born that.
Yeah, I was hoping your dad might have passed that on.
I mean, I know Clint how he is now.
But yeah. So, you're probably aware that he used to do it like every day when he got back from work. He would go home, get in at 6, and taxiderm a duck, and that was what he did. That was his life.
That's like his other, his hobby. That's what people
what
do.
We call a side hustle now. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's quite weird to do it every day, but there was like a case of bird flu at the local duck farm.
I mean, don't you do stuff that you enjoy every day?
Not for 4 hours straight.
I mean, taxidermy takes a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 4 hours minimum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like him coming home to do the thing he enjoys, he doesn't have a wife or any pet, so he just fills his time with his hobby. Like, what else is he meant to do when he gets home? He eats, obviously. He goes to bed. He cleans, but...
So you're saying this man goes home, gets home at 6 p.m, taxiderms the duck until 10 p.m.
Yep.
And goes to sleep.
Just like my father.
Okay. Right. I think we should get your father on the show at some point, because this would be an interesting...
He's dead.
Okay. Well...
I mean, it's okay you didn't know.
Yeah, I guess... Maybe for the rest of this story, we should forget about your connection to Clint and your dad.
I mean, it's hard to forget about it. I could correct you if you say misinformation.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough. But yeah, for now, just sit back and enjoy the story.
Can I just ask, what is the crime?
That's what I'm leading up to. So
I'm one of those guys who likes to know the story before going into it.
I
thought I knew the story of Clint.
I'm trying to put in an element of suspense for you. There might be something to this man that you didn't know about, and
will I be able to look at him in the same way?
To be honest, probably. I don't think you'd have much of a problem with this, but
okay, I am going for an eye test later, so I may need new glasses. Okay. That's one for you guys.
Okay. Great. Anyway, so as I was saying, there was kind of a local interest story running up about Clint because of his, what some people consider to be a strange hobby, but not everyone. But at the time, some people considered it to be a strange hobby to do every day.
Some people would just call it work.
Yeah, he didn't get paid for it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so some journalists swung by
like
his
the
house.
swans.
Yeah, the journalists. I might have Freudian slipped myself here, because the journalists swung by his house, and they just found masses of taxidermied ducks.
Which he did every day.
Yeah.
4 hours.
And as you can imagine doing that every day for 4 hours, eventually he wanted to start pushing the boundaries of his own niche. There was rumours that he was taxiderming some like Franken ducks, like a uni duck that didn't have a horn, but it did have like its bill moved up to like its forehead.
Oh, like a unicorn. I thought you said uniduck, like a duck from the university.
Yeah, no. Although it would have been good to use as a mascot, but
oh, definitely.
Yeah, so he started getting a bit freaky with it, and that was the first thing they found. And they, that's still normal relatively. But whilst he was away making them some tea, they went into his basement, which, to be honest, they're committing a crime here, but we can gloss over that for journalistic reasons.
Yeah.
And they found one taxidermied thing that wasn't a duck, and they found
it was a swan.
Yes, they found a taxidermied swan, which, as some listeners may be aware, would be a crime.
The Queen's dead now, so it's not a crime.
Well, the Queen wasn't dead in 1990, and around that time, some people were really mad about this. Like, the royal frenzy was kicking off. Some people were
You could say they were in a frenzy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you called them the royal frenzy.
Yeah.
I'm saying that they got in a frenzy.
Okay, okay.
This is a name. Sorry, keep going.
Okay, yeah. So after the journalists printed the story about the stuffed swan, they were like calling it things like foul crime because they thought they were funny, and
that is pretty good.
Yeah, the town. Well, Eileen, especially, was in her uproar. She was like, "Oh, that Clint needs to go to hell." And a good thing he's not dead. But if he did ever go to hell, I'm sure he could apologise to the Queen in person for what he did to her swan. But,
she would be in hell, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we can't make any strong judgments on character in case we get a defamation lawsuit again. But
so true.
Yeah,
I retract my statement. Hypothetically, this isn't the Queen of England, by the way.
Yeah, this is the hypothetical Queen that hypothetically had ownership of all swans in this hypothetical normal island.
Yeah.
But yeah,
which is definitely not this place, because this isn't normal.
You might not know about after this got reported on. Even though it was a local interest story, it kind of got picked up a bit. There was this website, www.fancyaBird.com, where it was a forum for taxidermy birds.
I imagine my dad was on it. Actually, he might have been the co-founder.
Maybe. There was only about 6 active users. So
he was definitely on it.
Yeah. I mean, there were 6 active users, and then there's some other guys who came onto the site who were looking for some kind of illicit dating material. And
with taxidermists?
No, for fancyaBird.com, because... they fancied a bird.
Like a good chicken for a roast dinner?
Yeah.
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 You don't taxidermy them. Not when they've already been, plucked.
Anyway, Clint's actions kind of inspired a string of copycat rogue taxidermies where people started a whole slew of taking swans, alive or not, I don't know, and just taxiderming them. And so technically it's a copycat crime. Technically. They had a similar problem over at findmeachick.com, but that was the taxidermists, when they were growing, went to that website and they found actually illicit dating material but yeah.
Like messy rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, that's the end of the Clint Sanders story.
I can continue it if you want.
Yeah,
I do actually know.
Yeah.
Maybe a first.
The man behind the taxidermy swan.
Crimes Anew. Where are they now? Clint, next door to my house. He when my father died, he helped get me to university, and then when I wasn't doing well, he got me the job in the aquarium because he taxidermies the dead fish when they die.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for setting him up on this crimes podcast now, because it was supposed to be, this is a crime. I wanted to take a new angle at it. I didn't want to just bring in some random murder.
I mean, they're dark anyway. It's a bit light-hearted. No one really got hurt apart from the swans.
Yeah, well, allegedly. They might have been dead already.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Knowing Clint, they would have been dead. He would have just plucked it off from the highway,
Yeah. From the highway.
He goes to the, the A46,
And the swans go there too.
Yeah. Sometimes they fly out.
No.
And he plucks them off. So he's doing a service. He's clearing the roads. He does it at night, so there's not much commotion.
Yeah.
And he taxidermies them. He likes finding them a bit fresh, so that it doesn't smell.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that Clint is still doing well, because like I was saying, there was
he's not doing well anymore.
Okay. Was that because of the whole incident and everyone rising up against him, or is it just unrelated?
Unrelated. I don't think I can talk about it.
Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, you could consider that the true crime of the story, that a man finds a dead bird, taxidermies it, and then gets caught in it by some townies.
You could call it a foul business.
I already did that. Well, actually, no, the paper did that joke. Yeah. Yeah, it was foul.
Right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping there'd be more to discuss after that, but...
we can discuss more if you want.
You knew the man so well, there's kind of not much room, is there?
No, he's like... It's like a brother to me.
Yeah, so
which
I feel
is odd, since the age gap makes him more like a father. And I think I did already say that he's kind of like a father.
Yeah.
But
he's a complicated man, except the fact that he's not really.
No, he's quite normal. Just average.
Yeah, I think I was doing the same thing everyone else was doing, just trying to find something interesting in Clint. Where, he's just Clint.
He writes stories now.
What's it about?
Pigs.
Pigs? Just pig stories? Does he taxidermy any pigs, or is it just pigs?
No, he's got a rule against that.
Okay. I think that's a reasonable rule. No pigs.
No pigs.
Yeah.
Sometimes the pigs in the story are like humans, and sometimes they're pigs, and they're not very interesting. We could maybe, if we ever do some reviews or something.
Yeah, I don't see why we're going to be doing reviews on a true crime podcast, but you
don't know.
I can read through it in my spare time and see if there's anything worth.
Yeah. Write him a review.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Clint, if you do listen to this, just know you hold a special place in the family. Mm-hmm. Sure, my dad, if we could find his treasured taxidermy lab, would have donated it to you and everything that was inside.
And Clint, a personal apology for me for setting you up on a true crime podcast. I hope that fine didn't sting too harsh.
I mean, he's deaf, so he probably won't hear this.
Yeah, that probably... Okay, I'm not that worried then. Yeah. Well, okay, Clint technically was a criminal, so I'll stand by what I said.
On a technicality.
On a technicality. That's what all crime podcasts should be about. It's about technicalities.
Yeah.
We don't want to make loose theories that don't hold up.
No, because that'd be irresponsible.
Yeah, that'd be irresponsible.
Could really damage people's lives.
So we just want the technical levels. This was a crime, so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And it's all resolved, so there's no point going to witch hunt him. You don't know where he lives. Next to me.
Yeah. Unless you know where DJ lives.
Yeah, no one does. Apart from my boss.
Okay. So, DJ's boss, if you're hearing this, don't get too mad. Although he's also working with Clint, isn't he? Because he gets the fish taxidermy.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as you're free, keep quiet. Okay, so I feel like that's a more important connection than being your boss.
No, he's like my boss before he's Clint's brother.
Okay. So that's where his priorities lie.
Yeah.
Poor Clint.
Poor
Clint.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At least they're getting business from each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cycle.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They got it good. He does know sign language to communicate with Clint. I don't. It's hard. I need to take it up, though.
Yeah.
Maybe in my free time, if I had less hours.
Yeah.
Start the workers' rights going. We're coming for you, mate. Mr. Sanders. Count your days. Right, shall we move on to my crime? Well, not my crime, but the crime
Not the crime you committed, but the crime you prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me take you to 2008. I don't think you know of it.
Probably not.
No, so it was like at this house party.
Yeah.
Something like Lady Scarlet. Do you know Lady Scarlet?
No. Was she some kind of nobility?
Yeah. They were. She was hosting a dinner party at her mansion. The local vicar or reverend, I think it was, came in.
Yeah.
There was like a colonel in the army.
Wait, I feel like you've skipped a few things here. I need some character backstory on this Scarlet woman. I need to get attached to her before I learn that she dies or something.
Well, she didn't die.
Oh well, flesh it out a bit.
None. I was gonna get to the person who died. I mean.
Okay. Is everyone else irrelevant?
Yeah. But basically, it was like a big mystery because when the detectives showed up, the body had been obviously moved.
Who's the body?
I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
Just give me.
Sorry.
Give me time.
You know how you like to start with your crime? I like to start with my victim.
Oh, I like to set the scene.
I didn't. Not victim. I guess I did.
Yeah, you set the scene.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're interrupting me.
Sorry.
Sorry, Caleb. Anyway, so yeah, the body had been basically moved. So the detectives didn't know what was actually going on, so they had to figure out how the person had died, what had they been killed with, where it had happened, and more importantly, who.
Because if you don't have any of those things, what are you going to do in court?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't prove anything.
Yeah.
There's a body, but.
But at least were they even trying to find a motive?
No.
Okay.
No motive
really
was needed. They just wanted to pin, because the motive comes out in in the courts and in the.
Yeah. I imagine this kind of aristocratic family kind of thing. Just want it all over.
Yeah. So you had the Reverend who was there. You had obviously Lady Scarlet, the Colonel.
Sorry, wait. Why was the Colonel at his dinner party?
Friends with Lady Scarlet. I think. He was around in the Falkland Wars, and obviously nobility. They like the empire,
military connections, and all that.
Yeah. I can't remember who else. I mean, I had my notes. I forgot to bring them. I think there was a cook.
A cook.
Yeah, a cook.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big fancy house. It's probably that makes sense.
Yeah. But, I mean, they ain't cooking for themselves. They need.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's a peacock.
Just a peacock.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't. That's not part of the.
Yeah.
That's just an
I
eccentric
assume
rich
this peacock,
person thing.
Was it taxidermied or was it a pet?
Both.
Okay, so it was a pet and it died, and then they just stuff this.
Yeah. I think. Oh, there was a local professor at the university.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So as I said, the detectives needed to figure it all out. For some reason, they split everyone off into different rooms and started going around interviewing all of them.
So they just... Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they sent the suspects away to be, on their own.
Yeah, into different rooms.
Not with any officers with them or anything?
No, they were waiting around.
Right, okay. I feel like there's a problem here.
What?
If there's a killer in one of those rooms, just,
Well, they're isolated into another room.
Oh, they're not with other people?
No,
okay.
they're just in another room. And I think they had, They collected a bunch of these objects they found around them, the mansion. It was a rope, a gun, I think a screwdriver.
It sounds like a lot of really random objects just found lying around the mansion.
Yeah. Oh, lead pipe. Gotta have a lead pipe.
DJ.
Yeah.
Is this entire scenario from Cluedo?
I'm gonna be real with you. Yes.
And you didn't even think to introduce the victim first.
There's no victim in Cluedo. Have you played it?
It's a murder.
There's a murder, but who was murdered? Why? We don't know.
That is kind of strange that they point out. Why do I play this game and care about the mystery when I don't even know who died?
Exactly. Yeah. This was something that was revealed to me back in 2008, which is why the true crime is why anyone plays Cluedo.
Yeah. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be a true crime content generator. I think it was this random guy who was probably also having an affair with his wife for some reason.
But that doesn't matter to the game,
Yeah.
At least in the game, you can be I think it was Reverend Green in the bathroom for some reason with the candlestick. How do you kill someone with a candlestick?
With a strong hit, the heavy back then.
With the wax breaks.
No, it's with the candlestick holder.
Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, I didn't really bring a crime today.
Right. Well, I don't know what to do now, because if we don't have any other crimes to talk about, and the best crime that we did have
wasn't a crime at all.
Well, it was a crime, but not really in a moral sense, just in a legal sense.
Yeah. I mean, who listens to these kind of things anyway? It's kind of dark. The reason I didn't bring a crime is because, I was looking it up. It's just not very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why people normally do listen to true crime. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but there's the morbid curiosity is what I get told.
But, how do they sleep with themselves?
Yeah.
Doesn't it keep them up at night?
And this is what I was worried about going into recording it, because, it's so sketchy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be someone who was stirring up drama about some murder.
Yeah, let me tell you, if people come for good Clint Sanders after this, I'm going to be mad at you.
Yeah. I will say, at least, I don't think that's going to be a problem, because I think people are going to be falling asleep much easier to this than they would to any other true crime podcast.
That's true.
I think it's just a wholesome story, except for the swan that might have been murdered, maybe.
And we basically described how to play Cluedo.
Yeah, it's more like a how-to podcast, how to taxiderm.
Well, we didn't go over how to taxiderm.
No,
but this is closer to my original idea of how to build things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad it went this way.
At least it's something productive,
Yeah.
Not just throwing out theories into the void and making things more confusing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to know how to play Cluedo, probably Reverend Green.
Yeah, just take a guess in the dark. It's probably...
You don't need to take notes.
Yeah.
I'm going to take another drink of water, though.
Okay. I think that might do us for the first episode then. Just got anything else to add, DJ?
I feel like this format's not going to work if we keep doing crimes and
especially if we don't actually bring in crimes.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk about crimes.
No, I don't want to talk about crimes either.
I know we set it out to Burn FM when we were saying, or at least when they put us together, we were like, oh, we'll do a crime show.
Yeah, I think I was telling them what they probably wanted to hear. Got
any other podcast ideas?
I don't know. I think we just turn up next time and whatever happens.
We can do something entirely new.
Yeah, just do something else.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to figure out
Yeah, how are we signing this off?
Yeah. Oh, one thing. I did want to try doing a lot of podcasts have sponsors. I don't have one for today, obviously.
It'd be quite bad if you did have sponsors.
But people, we can make one up for today, and then people can get used to having a segment, a sponsor segment.
Yeah.
Today we're sponsored by.
The label's been scratched off, so you can't really read that.
Well, my water bottle's useless. Worms. They do a lot for us.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. You want to farm? Get some worms in there. You wanna be in a sleeping bag and have a race? Worm race.
Maybe we should just talk about worms next time.
Information. No. That's kind of a podcast, isn't it?
I feel like all we'd be doing would just be looking up Wikipedia.
That'd be boring.
That wouldn't be good.
Just giving facts.
Yeah. If we actually knew anything, maybe, but yeah, since we don't know anything about the topic, really, we should probably just... Maybe that's why we should do things that we know about for the next episode, and the only things that we really know about is our own experiences, so we can just come on...
Talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
It'd be a good way to get to know each other.
Yeah, exactly, because I still feel like you're a complete mystery to me.
Well, what's there to tell? I work in the aquarium.
Yeah, so next episode's going to be a riveting disclosure of all of our personal details and DJ's aquarium experiences.
They said they might fire me.
Okay, well, we save that for the next episode, and if DJ's crying in the next episode...
I won't be crying. I financially, I'm not doing bad, but, it's more just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, keeps you busy. Well, now we've got this to keep you busy instead.
Yeah. That's true, and if I ever need to, I can pick up taxidermy.
True. That's what I'll take up. Maybe that's how we sign off. We sign off with take-home messages. Taxidermy's okay.
They're not weird people. Don't play Cluedo. Worms are epic, and they are today's sponsors.
Also, swans are overrated.
So true.
Alright. Bye.